Nothing? Now? All right. All right, good to be here. As Max said, I'm from Finoa Consensus Services. We are a validator based in Germany, and I would like to talk about potential staking regulation. And I would like to start the talk with thinking about a question. And that question is, who are actually the customers of a validator? Because I think this question is key if we think about how regulation could work in the future in general. And that's why I would like to ask you in the audience, what do you think are the customers of a validator? So please raise your hand if you think that the stakers who are delegating their assets to a validator are the customers of a validator. If you think that, like 15, 20 people? All right, let's do the other way around. Who of you thinks that the network where the validator is providing the infrastructure is the customer of a validator? Also, please raise your hand if you think that that's the case. A bit less, but more or less the same. And this is also how I think about this question at the moment. It's kind of both, but let me give you my thoughts on this question. So if we are thinking about the delegators, I mean, the delegators are putting their money, locking their money with the validator and are expecting to be able to earn some yields, to earn some rewards. And additionally, in most of the cases, the delegators and the validators have some kind of legal agreements. I mean, it's either some terms and conditions, some individual contracts, or similar. And there are even like liability clauses inside, like if you are not performing accordingly to SLAs that we agreed on, there is some reimbursement from the validator. So, very good arguments for the delegator being the customer of a validator. On the other side, we're having the blockchain network. And without validators, there wouldn't be any blockchain network, right? Because there wouldn't be new blocks. No transactions would be validated. All of the use cases would not work on top. So the technical service that the validators are providing are essential for the health of a blockchain network. And in the end, the validators and the delegators are getting paid from the blockchain network with like new tokens for this service of building trust and building the technical infrastructure. Oops. And this shows that staking has kind of two sides. On the one hand side, staking is some kind of financial enablement. Validators are enabling, in the end, delegators to earn rewards. And on the other side, validators are providing a technical service for the networks. And this is kind of very close together in staking what we are not seeing in other traditional industries. And that's the challenge that I see in regulation, because regulators need to balance those two things out. The financial enablement and the technical service. If the validator would see staking as a clear financial service, they would probably fully regulate this. And we are seeing the first steps here in Switzerland, as I've said, from the FINMA in this direction. And on the other side, there's a technical service where, I mean, technical services aren't regulated, right? And this is kind of the balance that the delegators need to find if they think about regulation or staking in general. So how are the regulators looking at that at the moment, or what's the current status. Mike said it already, and there's no presentation without a meme. MiCA is coming. MiCA is coming probably next year, but MiCA, the European regulation, is not giving any guidance about how staking should be treated in Europe. I mean, there are a lot of very important topics covered in MiCA, like the declaration of tokens and different crypto assets providers, like custody and other topics. But staking for now is not part of that, and it's good to give the groundwork before doing additional regulation on top of that. But they communicated that it's planned to tackle staking in what regulation soever in MiCA 2, which we are currently expecting in like 2 to 3 years. Let's see. As Finoa Consensus Services, we are a subsidiary of the German regulated custody provider called Finoa. And with the combination of a validator and the regulated custody service, we are able to facilitate different use cases for our customers. For example, we launched the first, let's say, regulated e-staking offering from a regulated institute to enable our customers to use this service in a regulated and safe way. And on the other side, found a very new approach to the Mina staking ecosystem to reduce the risk of the counterparty risk of validators in general. And what those conversations showed me with the local regulation in Germany is that regulators are keen to learn and understand already much more than most of us think, I guess. But even though I think, and I want to end with a call for everybody here, that it's key to educate more and more about staking in general, not only the regulators, but also the communities that we have in the different blockchain networks. It's about educating the investors about the risks that are involved here. Because each of the networks have very different mechanisms if we think about the staking. And not all of the details are clear to all of the parties involved. So let's use the conference here to collaborate and come together to think about what are the best way to continue educating about staking in general. Thanks a lot.